if you grew up in Malaysia, like I did, when you think of Pahang, you think of maybe Cameron Highlands with all the tea plantations, so you think of Taman Negara, our national park. But what about the food in Pahang, though? Let's find out with the help of some of my Masters of Malaysian Cuisine chefs. I hope you enjoy. This episode of Street Food Journeys features Zaleha Olpin making Pulut Panggang, Marco D, yours truly making Nasi Kebuli, Shaukani Abbas, Ken Abroad, Ikan Patin in Temerloh, and the MOMC and MOMC at Heart chefs answer the question, what dish do you think of when you think of Pahang?
Okay. So, berapa lama dah Nurul dekat Bazar Ramadan?
2 tahun.
2 tahun.
Start tahun lepas lah.
So, kiranya ni macam Nurul daripada awal memang menyaga kan? Tak ada kerja lain kan? Maksudnya memang menyaga punca rezeki Nurul. Okay.
Zaleha Olpin, also known as That Rendang Lady, is a Masters of Malaysian Cuisine chef and was born and raised in Pahang. She shows us how to make Pulut Panggang, Pahang style. All right, Zaleha, what are you making in this next segment?
I'm making something really, really nice from my hometown, Kuantan. Because the segment is for Pahang, I thought this is something that I really love to eat when I go home. They sell it on the street, obviously, especially in the morning near my mom's house. There's a huge field where we'll see a lot of stalls, a lot of little stalls, and this is one of my favorite one because this lady has been selling this for the last 20 years, I think. She just stand there and she just make it fresh and bake it on this little satay burner with charcoals and everything. So it's called Pulut Panggang. Or basically we translate it as glutinous rice that you filled with some fish floss, wrap it back into a log, and you bake it on a barbecue.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's get the video going. But I had Pulut Panggang in my hometown in Seremban as well. But we don't use fish. From memory, they use dried shrimp, which was how I made it as well when I had my restaurant. But I'm curious to see your version.
Yeah, I think the Kuantan and the Terengganu version, because we are so close to Terengganu, our food are so much influenced by Terengganu as well. If you go to the other side, like Pekan, where the royal town is, then that food is more of pure Pahang. So it's like when you're at the border of Terengganu, you get all the influence from Terengganu. The Pulut Panggang that I'm making is also made in Kuala Terengganu as well with it's a white fish floss. The one that the one you're talking about, the one with prawns, are actually what we call pulut udang.
Okay. Did you use fresh prawns or did you use dried prawns?
Dried prawns. That one's dried prawns and coconut floss, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. That's how I made it. So you call it pulut udang. Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's just different states, I think. And I remember Chef Joe was saying about some of them call it pulut leper as well, isn't it?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Okay,
in Terengganu they call it pulut leper, but in Pahang we call it either pulut panggang or pulut udang, and that's it.
Okay. I've never heard it called pulut udang, but let's get the video going. Okay, so just talk us through what you're doing, and I'll just hit you with questions as we go.
Yes, of course. So the first thing you need to do is to cook the rice. So I'm doing a simplified method here by just cooking them in the rice cooker. Traditional, some older generations would steam the rice and then put the coconut milk in. But I just put everything to the rice cooker, some salt, a little bit of sugar, coconut milk, and a little bit of oil just to hold the rice nicely. Stir it and then put it on the rice setting, cook it. But the only thing is you still need to soak the rice for at least 2 hours, the glutinous rice, for at least 2 hours before you cook them.
Okay. Do you use cold water to soak it in or hot water?
Yep, just a simple cold water. Put it, soak it in for 2 hours or longer if you like, but at least for 2 hours, and that's it. Cook the rice, set it aside, and you can start with your the fish floss.
Cool, cool. What sort of fish are you using here?
The one I'm using here is called baza fillet. The best, obviously, would be Spanish mackerel, or we call it ikan kembung in Malaysia. Yeah, but I can't get it here. Not all the time. So this is the one I'm using. And to be honest with you, these are like less fishy. So the family prefers a less fishy fish. Less fishy fish. There you go. So that's why I use baza fillet. I just actually basically poached it in salt and one tamarind skin for about like 10-15 minutes until it's cooked through, and then pound it in a pestle mortar.
I like how you're using a mortar and pestle to pound it with, because I never thought to do that. I would have just thrown it in the processor.
It's only half kilo of fish. If I do for my catering, it goes in my mixer. Trust me.
Sure.
Yeah. So once it's pounded, you know that the fish is actually cooked, but you need now to just flavor the floss, because at the moment it's just salt and a little bit of you also need, what else do you need? You need sugar, you need salt. You're just going to see me adding in the coconut milk now.
So no desiccated coconuts in it?
No desiccated coconut. That is shallots that's gone in. Thinly sliced shallots, julienne, ginger, a little bit of garlic if you prefer. If not, you can always opt it out. That is fenugreek, sugar, 1 to 2 tablespoons. Salt goes in as well. And finally, add in coconut cream. You can always use coconut milk, no problem. I like coconut milk because I prefer the more creamy fish floss.
Okay.
So you will cook this on medium to low heat. It takes quite a while to stir, because you have to keep stirring it. You don't want to burn it. Just keep going, cook, stir and stir until it's slightly dry. It's like floss. You don't want it to be too dry. You want some moisture in it, but you don't want it watery.
Okay.
So you just keep stirring this.
Sure. Was that pepper that you just added in, or?
Yes. I forgot to put the pepper just now, so I quickly add in the black pepper, but you should put it together with all the other ingredients just now.
Sure.
So you see it's drying nicely. Okay. It's not really dry. It's still wet. It's still heavy, but it's not too dry, because too dry, your pulut panggang will be like a little bit tasteless.
Sure.
So you set those aside and you actually soften the banana leaves. There's 2 ways to soften banana leaves. You could actually put it on the grill just now, or you could put it in hot water.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Now you've done the rice just now. Now I'm just brushing some oil onto the banana leaves before I add it in the rice. Yeah, so you just flatten the rice into how big is entirely up to you. You want it big. The one that the makcik sells to me is really massive. So I'm making probably medium size. And this is the best bit. You can put as much floss as you like. It doesn't matter. You can also put more rice on top to cover the floss. It's entirely up to you how big, how much you want. That's the best thing about home-cooked, homemade pulut panggang. Sometimes when you buy from the shop, you get very little fillings. You just get really upset. So
yeah. I'm surprised you said that the lady who sold it made it really big, because in Malaysia, I always tell people, everything in Malaysia is small and everything.
Hers is really massive. She's selling for two ringgit, one piece. It's big, yeah. So that's basically, you fold it and nicely pack it in, put the toothpicks on, fold it nicely, and you just keep doing that, and then you put onto your grill. You could use barbecue, charcoal barbecue. That's the best. But because of the demo, I just do it inside the house, and I just use the grill. And you just brush some oil onto it. Yep. So it penetrates into the pulut panggang. The longer you cook it, the better. I
Okay.
prefer, to be honest with you, I prefer it nice and soft, but some people, some like it crispy inside, like really nice and brown inside. So it's also entirely up to you how you like your pulut panggang.
Oh.
Yeah, this is actually, oh, even looking at this, I want it again. I love it. This is actually my favorite, one of my favorite morning kueh when I go home. And
Yeah.
the first thing we do the next morning is like go buy breakfast or go for
Yeah.
roti canai, things like that. These are the things that I miss most about Malaysia.
Yeah, same here. Now with your banana leaves, are they fresh banana leaves or are they frozen leaves?
This one I bought specifically fresh ones because I know when I buy frozen one, I will always get the really a lot of herring in there. So I bought fresh ones. That cost me about £9 for about 2 long leaves. Yep.
Oh my god.
It's so expensive, but you know what? It's worth it.
Now, if you
I buy
don't
them.
have banana leaves, like, would you use something else for it?
You could wrap it in baking paper. You could wrap it in, just oil the baking paper, wrap it in the baking paper, tuck it in tightly, and then wrap it again in the foil and put it on the barbecue. That works as well.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Now, you were saying earlier that, like, Chef Joe says that it's called leper. Did you say? Is it?
Pulut lepa, LEPA, pulut lepa in Terengganu. Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know what this reminds me? It reminds me of the Indonesian lemper ayam. They call it lemper, Lemper. I wonder if it's a word. But it's also sticky rice. But yeah. Oh, that looks
Oh,
beautiful.
wow.
I'm gonna try and make. I've never thought to make it with fish before.
Try it. Yeah, I know I'm a big fan of seafood. So I would do fresh prawns as well, but this is the traditional for Kuantan and Terengganu. It's a white sambal, white fish floss. If the prawns, I think they will put chilies in there, so it's slightly red fillings. Yeah.
Okay. So this one has no chili at all. No
No.
spice. Okay.
No, so the heat comes from the black pepper. You want it hotter, you add more pounded black pepper.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for this, Zaleha. I'm going to try it.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
I'll see you later.
See you. Bye-bye.
Marco D is an Englishman based in Malaysia. He's a TikTok and YouTube star and a TV presenter. He went on a food hunt in Pahang.
So I'm here now on the outskirts of Kuantan. We're by the highway. We've stopped off here. We've had so much food, but we are here now at Kerabop Lekor. Oh, Fatima! I love satong, Sai Suga satong. This one looks awesome. I'm trying it right now. Oh my god. Flour on that satong is really prawn goreng. Prawn goreng, 10 out of 10. We are here for the Kerabop Lekor. Oh, Fatima, time to try your Kerabop Lekor. Very fishy, this one. Usually the Kerabop Lekor is very doughy. It's good. Oh, Fatima! Your Kerabop Lekor sangat sedap lah. Very nice. You need another staff here? I do your staff. I come and cook for you.
Boleh.
Yeah, my new job. Thank you. Peace. So we are in Kuantan, and apparently everything here is royal. This is royal pudding, pekan royal pudding, special delicacy. Okay, why is it royal pudding? Because it's meant for the king. So at the bottom we have banana, it's called lemak manis. We have the yellow, it's actually egg yolk. We have prunes, some prunes, and also some cashew nuts. Are you going on top? Yeah. Drink? Or no, we just put it as a gravy. It's like custard, like English custard. Yes, it's like English custard. That looks really good. It smells so good. Just to let you know, guys, only kings can have this dish. So, right, here we go. Most Malaysian desserts I've actually liked because everything is sweet. It tastes like bananas and custard, bread and butter pudding maybe.
Yeah, bread and butter
It
pudding.
tastes like that. It tastes ever in Kuantan. Lemak manis is the thing you have to try. This is one of the best things I've tried all trip. Royal pudding. Yeah, try it.
My Masters of Malaysian Cuisine co-founder Paul Gray joins me to talk about Nasi Kebuli.
So Paul, Nasi Kebuli, I've never heard of it. I had to Google it. And according to Zaleha, who is from Pahang, it was actually a dish that was invented for the Sultan, for royalty.
I did not expect it. It seems pretty simple enough, so I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, let's have a look.
I've never seen it, so just like you've never seen it, so neither have I.
Okay, so I'm just adding like these onion, and actually the recipe did not call for garlic, but I like garlic, so I threw some garlic in. And
Garlic
ginger.
is good.
Yeah, I know, right? So I'm using a big onion, but in Malaysia they would have used like a combination of big onion and small shallots. And I'm adding some lemongrass here as well. The lemongrass I use is like frozen and already minced up, so I just kind of like guesstimated how much to put in.
I was just about to ask what that is.
I know it doesn't look very attractive. But it's a shortcut from my business days. And I'm just adding some pepper in there. But the interesting thing about this dish is that it uses coriander. So I'm just pounding some coriander seeds in the mortar and pestle. And then I'm going to add them to the food processor / blender as well. And other ingredients that would go in would be turmeric. But I'm using turmeric powder, which is why I'm not adding it here. But you could use fresh turmeric as well. And also galangal. You could use fresh galangal. But again, shortcut, I'm using powdered galangal because it's already in powder form. It doesn't go in the food processor. But if you were using the fresh versions, you would actually blend it along with all the other spices. And now I'm just transferring it into a pan to fry it up, just like with a lot of Malaysian cooking. So I'm just adding the turmeric here. With a lot of Malaysian cooking, you would fry, and that's the galangal powder. You would
I was wondering what that was. Okay.
So I'm just frying it up, and usually with Malaysian recipes, you fry up this spice paste that you call rempah in oil, okay? But I like to actually, I've added the oil now. I think that was, that didn't show up. But I actually would have, I actually dry fry it first to remove some of the moisture before I add the oil in so it doesn't spit as much. That's just a Jackie M hack, okay? And after frying the spices, I then add these are what we call here in Australia chicken Maryland pieces. So it's the thigh plus the drumstick attached together.
Weird Australians.
What do you call it?
Quarter, I think. Basically,
Quarter.
yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, quarter could mean the top quarter, you see? Okay, so I'm just putting in some salt, and also being Jackie, I'm going to add some chicken powder to it as well, okay? But the original recipe did not call for chicken powder. So like I said, my caveat is I do not know this dish, and I had to Google it, and this was the recipe I came up with, okay? But it seems pretty straightforward, so I'm just going with it.
Yeah, nothing seems really tricky so far, and it looks simple but very flavorful by the looks of it.
Yeah, there are a separate recipe that actually, I mean, there are always like variations in from different sources. And this is basmati rice. I'm just going to actually, typically you would rinse it and then like strain it. But because I'm not near a sink at the moment, I just basically pour water over it and then I'll just strain it later on. But the idea is to get your rice wet. But so with this, we're just gonna cook it till the chicken is done. And because they're chicken Maryland pieces, they can take a little while to cook, okay? So you're looking at least 20 minutes, 25 minutes or something like that. You wanna cook it all the way through. As I was saying earlier, there are other recipes out there that actually tell you to marinate the chicken with salt and the turmeric first, for a few hours before you cook it. I mean, I don't see the point in it, but so I skip that because it's all going to be going in there and being boiled anyway, right? So once it's cooked, you then take it out and you want to dry it, okay? Now, typically, if you weren't in a rush, you would actually let it sit in the marinade, for a while so that it soaks up more of the flavors. But I did it straight away and it actually turned out fine, right? So that's the leftover marinade and you don't waste it, okay? But anyway, I forgot to mention, after I fried the spice paste, I took a little bit of it out, which I'm just adding back to the pan now. And that's going to be for the rice. So we're going to be using the same spice mixture and we're just going to fry up the rice with it, the raw rice, just to make it aromatic. This recipe, this technique actually reminds me a little bit of Hainanese chicken rice, because I used to sell Hainanese chicken rice at my restaurant, where we basically do the same thing. We would do different set of ingredients, but we would actually fry up the rice with oil and with the spices, and then we would then cook the rice in the rice cooker, right? So, except again, we weren't using basmati, we were using jasmine rice, but the idea is the same. Okay.
This is it's almost very Indian. I mean, I don't know in India, but I know with a lot of the Indian population in South Africa, is that we have dishes where they do that to the rice.
Sure. Yeah. And with basmati rice, it takes. I'm just using some of the stock from the what was used to poach the chicken to cook the rice with, and it wasn't what the recipe said. I figured, why use water when you use flavor?
Yeah. Why waste perfect stock?
Yeah, the result was that my rice looks a bit more yellow than what I saw online, but So I just heated up some oil here, and then you're gonna fry the chicken up a second time, right? At this point, you want the chicken to be. I actually had dried it with some paper towel. Also so that it doesn't spit all over in the oil. But remember, the chicken is already 100% cooked through by simmering it in the water. So this should not take too long. Okay, you just want to toast up the chicken. And the rice is done. I just used the rice cooker and just cooked it up and fluffed it up. Basmati rice takes more water, so when you steam it, when you cook it, you want more water to cook it. Yeah. So just presenting it here. What would have gone well with this? Like Zaleha recommended that you could serve this with a tomato sambal, right? So a chili condiment that has some tomato, tomato in it as well. And I actually ate this with a belacan, sambal belacan. It's not.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It sounds like it would work well.
I asked Zaleha, does this actually come with something? She says no, because typically when they serve it in Pahang, they would serve this with other dishes as well that do have sauce, like maybe a curry or something like that. So the curry sauce would be then, used over the rice. But as it stands, it's just like that. So just the fried chicken, crispy, fried chicken, the rice, and some. I just garnished it with some cucumber. And also remember the water, the stock that was used to poach the chicken with. It was quite, I guess, a little bit salty because it was reduced, right? I basically cooked it up again by adding more water to it and then turn it into a broth to serve the chicken with. So that worked out really well. I'm just sprinkling it with spring onion here. So
yeah, it's a good looking dish and it's got sort of those Indian vibes. So it looks really good to me.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty simple. I don't generally actually like to cook chicken Maryland in such a big piece like this because they're hard to cook all the way through. So you just want a little bit of patience to make sure that it's simmered properly, and you would want a bit of patience to let it drain on a draining rack, or if you rush it through like I did, I patted it dry with paper towels and then I fried it up, sort of thing. So there's just a couple of steps. But as far as yeah, the ingredients that go into it, pretty straightforward. So give it a go.
Yeah, I like it. I'm definitely going to try it.
Good, because the ingredients are pretty universally available. I think nothing too exotic, right? Cool. Okay, well, make sure you try
Thanks
it.
a
Let me know.
lot. Yeah, will do. Bye.
Shaukani Abbas, an award-winning tour guide from Malaysia, joins us again to talk about places to visit in Pahang.
So Shaukani, I have never been to Taman Negara, but I think it's really quite spectacular, isn't it?
Yes. Anyway, Taman Negara is our national park in Malaysia, in the peninsula. Yeah.
I read online that it's the oldest tropical rainforest in the world. Is that right?
Yeah,
I never realized.
Much older than Amazon.
I see. I never realized that because when you grow up in Malaysia, you think, oh, it's just a forest, no big deal. But now, when I'm looking at the photos and all that, it's really quite spectacular. So let's have a look. So yeah, this looks really, really nice.
Yes, because everything in Taman Negara, you have to use a boat to visit all these places of interest, like the Orang Asli village, the Aborigines of the Taman Negara. They are the Batik tribe, and they are one of the 18 subspecies of minority indigenous group of Malaysia. And also, we can go for a boat ride to a stream where at the end of the stream, the boat cannot go through. That's where you can swim all this like waterfall. And camping also can be done by the river. Fishing, like traditional fishing, which we see now in the picture, right? And some places in the Taman Negara, fishing is prohibited because they need to protect the wildlife there. Like this is a freshwater fish. Some are really big one.
So is it dangerous riding on the boats or?
No, it's safe because the boatmen are all experts. They are experts, they're licensed. Like the one you see in the picture now is the longest walkway in the world, 500 meters long.
Wow.
Yes.
It's pretty amazing.
And this is my favorite, Jackie. Rapid shooting. So you get soaked from top to toe.
It looks dangerous.
Yeah, it's nice. And if you need to see wildlife, you can go to any of the observation tower, and you can sometimes see animals at the salt lake.
Well, can you see tigers there?
No tigers. The tigers see you, but you won't see them.
Okay. So how long would you spend in Taman? Would you stay overnight in in Taman Negara or?
At least 2 nights in Taman Negara. And the best time to go there is between June, July, August, because it's a bit dry, and also the fruit season is there during the month of this month. Yeah.
Okay. What sort of fruit do you get?
Well, durian.
Oh, okay. I'm going there.
Mangosteen, rambutan. That's the best time to go.
So what, they grow wild or they farm?
No, there's orchards around there.
Okay.
So you can see them selling along the roadside.
Okay.
So,
now, I think there's an elephant sanctuary in Taman Negara, is it?
No, it's before you reach Taman Negara, there is one elephant sanctuary. But this sanctuary is a translocation area for wild animals, especially elephants. So elephants which are injured get separated from their herd, or baby elephant get separated. They will be caught and brought to the sanctuary, and they will be taken care of by the authority. Then later, they will be released in a better environment.
Okay. And of course, finally, with Pahang, there's Cameron Highlands with the tea plantations, right?
Yes, because of the weather there is cool, right? So people like to go there to cool off. Yeah, and the only place in Malaysia which can find tea is Cameron Highland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we Malaysian are tea drinkers, so we love to go Cameron Highland to see the tea plantation.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm definitely going to Taman Negara, and I might check out the tea plantations in Cameron Highlands as well. Well, thank you so much for this, Shaukani. Always very informative. I love talking to you about all these beautiful
Thank you very much.
All right, I'll see you next
Bye-bye.
time.
Ken Abroad is from Germany. He's a full-time traveler around Southeast Asia. He visited Pahang not so long ago.
It is time to try one of the most popular foods here in Malaysia, satay. Alright, I was just told that they actually cook the satay outside. So let's have a look how they prepare it actually, because I think that's interesting. Hi, hello. Ah, over there. Ah, okay, let's have a look. Ah, I would like to see how you make it. Ah, over there. So we have the fresh ones here, and already finished here, right? Which type is this? Is it chicken? Beef. Ah, that's a beef one. Chicken over there. Ah, it smells already. It's like fresh barbecue around here. That's really cool. Yeah, it's a really popular street food meal as well in Malaysia. Normally you can get one piece for about 1 ringgit, so that's like 20 cents, sometimes even less. Okay, and how many minutes you need to put them here?
10 minutes.
10 minutes only, and then easy.
10 minutes.
Oh. Okay, I'm excited to try it.
This is the mutton.
The mutton, okay.
For the red tip, this is the rabbit.
The rabbit.
This is the stomach. The stomach.
Stomach.
Okay. This is the liver.
Liver.
Chicken and beef.
Chicken and beef. Okay, the food has arrived, and yeah, it looks really nice. I'm a little bit scared of the liver because I'm not sure if I'm gonna like that, but okay. So and yeah, we also have a jug of sauce here. So some sauce, and as a side dish I have this. So some cucumbers and onions and some rice cake. So I'm excited. Let's go. Okay, I think we're going to start simple with the beef, because I'm pretty sure I like the beef and the chicken one. So I don't know. Do you just dip it in here normally? I will just try it raw before I dip it into the sauce. Oh wow. Really good. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. Okay. So, yeah, it's like a barbecue grilled beef. Really good.
I had the opportunity to visit Temerloh in Pahang, which is famous for its catfish. Being in the tropics, Malaysia is full of waterways, and in the middle of the country is the riverside town of Temerloh. It's a pretty spot and home to a Malaysian delicacy I was keen to try. But first, I wanted to see where it came from. I think I can hear the fish already.
Be careful.
Oh, okay. Here we go. So I've made my way to Temerloh, which is inland from Kuala Lumpur. Now, okay. Now, Temerloh is actually at the junction of two rivers, the Pahang River and the Semantan River. I'm told that Temerloh is actually referred to as Bandar Ikan Patin, which means a patin fish town. Patin fish apparently is a kind of local catfish that's caught in the rivers over here. So I'm going to do what a lot of people in the past have done, that is travel all the way to Temerloh to actually try the fish here. And I've got a local chef here, Eddie, to help me out with that. Eddie, tell me about this fish farm. This is where you get your fish for your restaurant? Yes. How big do they grow to?
1.5 or 2 kilo.
1.5 and 2 kilos. Okay. Now, I know that you can catch the fish in the river, but why are they farming it here? Okay, yeah. And because it's more expensive, basically, I think, just over the years, catching this fish is just getting a little bit tricky, and it's a lot more expensive. Obviously, catching it in the wild, it actually tastes a lot better, but also to make it sustainable and affordable, they've started farming this fish, so we can still enjoy a delicious ikan patin meal just from this farm fish as well. I see some fish pellets over here. You think we can feed them?
Yes, sure.
Oh, great. This is exciting. Here we come. Oh my goodness. Look at them. Wow. I don't want to fall in, but I'm very intrigued by this fish. Catfish are normally a bottom feeder, and their flesh can taste quite muddy. But these are farmed, so their diet can be controlled to ensure a sweeter flavor. It's also a far more environmentally friendly way to source the fish. Operations like this have allowed the wild populations of patin to come back to more healthy numbers. It has also allowed the supply to be more reliable. Now, as much as I was enjoying the tour of the farm, I was here to taste this famous delicacy. So we headed to Eddie's restaurant just up the hill. But I'm very hungry as well. So this is the famous ikan patin,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Okay. Can you tell me how you're gonna cook this?
OK，呢個子薑，
係
呢個葱，呢個豉油，呢個米酒。
Okay, 咁你點嚟蒸呢？
先放呢個啦。
Okay. So what he's going to do is that we've got just some pretty basic ingredients. We've got some pureed ginger over here, the shallots. This is soy sauce, and this is just rice wine. That's definitely rice wine. So Eddie's just smeared some of this over, and 你攞嚟蒸先係咪啫？Yeah. So he's just going to steam this, and then we're going to add this at the end, right? Okay, let's go.
OK，
So here's the steamer. How long do you steam this for?
8 minutes。
8 minutes. Not long at all, which is great because I'm hungry. Okay, and just cover this. So 8 minutes is just enough time for us to go and grab a drink. So we'll come back. In front of the restaurant, there are pools being used as fish tanks to keep the patin as fresh as possible prior to cooking. I won't lie to you, they're not exactly a pretty critter. Okay, let's go, Eddie. Let's see what this looks like. Right? Oh, this is making me so hungry. What are you doing there? You're just mixing the wine with the soy sauce. Okay. Fantastic. It's ready to eat now?
Yes.
Okay, great. You're going to put some shallots on. I'm going to try this very quickly because I'm really, really hungry here. Oh my goodness, this is fantastic. Now, I'm told by the locals here that the Malays actually do this a little bit different. They use tempoyak, which is what's fermented durian apparently, but the Chinese like to keep it quite simple. I'm talking with my mouth full here. But they just steam it with some ginger and shallots, but you have to try it. It sounds very easy and it tastes absolutely fantastic. Eddie, I'm gonna eat some more of this.
OK。
Oh my goodness. Our chefs from Masters of Malaysian Cuisine and MOMC at heart answer the question, what dishes do you think of when you think of Pahang?
When I think about Pahang, I'm from Pahang, obviously. When I think about Pahang, it's got to be opor daging. That is one of my absolute favorite when I go home. There's a special place somewhere in Kuantan that sells this as well. We do that, but it's a lot of work. It's very, very similar to rendang. Like Negeri Sembilan, they have rendang hijau, you got Perak, you got rendang tok, and then Kelantan you have kerutuk. So Pahang exclusive is opor daging. Very, very nice. And obviously rendang was brought into Malaysia by the migrants from Indonesia. And the difference is the Indonesian rendang is very, very dry. Our opor has lots of gravy on it and it's really dark and delicious.
Hi guys, when I think of Pahang, I always think about tempoyak patin. Definitely it's going to be very, very nice, delicious food, especially from the durian. When you cook with this ikan patin from Temerloh. Very nice.
In Pahang, because Pahang is very famous with its durian, like musangking and so on. So there are quite few numbers of dishes are inspired from the delicious durian. For example, let's say they have a gulai tempoyak ikan patin that you have to try. If you are in Kuantan, you can go to some good pastry where they offer this all made from durian, and they have durian crab, durian pastries, durian bomb they call it, or durian tart. Or if you are somewhere in Jeranto, Rau, or in Kuala Lipis, very nice scenery down here. You can always go for They call it gulai asam rong. This asam rong actually is made from the processed rubber tree fruits. The other one is if you go to the coast area, you can only look for ikan bakar petai, beautiful fish with a good, nice, we call it a stinky bean. Of course, for the sweet, very famous in Pahang is pudding diraja. You got to try all of this.
If I think of food in Pahang, okay, so of course there's so many variety of hawkers food in Pahang or a street food in Pahang, but this is rather rare, but if you're lucky enough, you can find laksa Pahang. Laksa Pahang is very, very nice. Okay, some of you might think that, Pahang ada laksa? Of course Pahang ada laksa.
I know each episode seems to get longer and longer, but even with that, we've got even more content for you, which you can access via our membership area. So make sure you sign up at malaysianchefs.com/streetfoodjourneys, and we'll send you details on how to get to them once we've got everything all set up. And I'll see you back here next week for another episode. And this time we are covering Perak. Have a great week ahead. I'm Jackie M.